Hello and welcome in to the Hogs Happy Hour here on the Four Star Sports Media Network. I'm your host Blake, and as joined by my brother Jason, and Ashton will not be with us tonight. He's a pitching guru, so he's out there giving some pitching lessons to the youth of Benton. So he will probably have some thoughts next week. But so this week is just the hoagie sandwich here on the Four Star Sports Media Network. Jason, how's it going in the River Valley?
Soaking wet, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, down here in the armpit of Arkansas, where the land of the paper mills. So we've polluted the air so much that we don't have to worry about those tornadoes and storms like they do in the northwest part of the state. But hopefully everyone's okay. I know Lake Hamilton. I think where Sam Pittman has a lake house. I think it got hit pretty hard. I don't know if he had any damage or not, but I do know there was a tornado out there. So, and if you're out there, share, like, subscribe the Four Star Sports Media page on YouTube or on X. And you can also follow us on X at the Hogs Happy Hour. And of course, if you're going to a sporting event anytime soon, I know it's summertime's about to be here, so you may be going to some concerts, some baseball games. Please use promo code 4 Star Sports Media to receive $20 off your first order on SeatGeek. So we're going to start, as always, with basketball. Monday seems to be the day of news, a day of transfer news, because every Monday since Coach Cal has taken the job, we have gotten a transfer. First Monday was Big Z, and then some more Kentucky players, started committing to us, and then Adu last week, and then this week we got another Kentucky player, which I'm gonna bring up this video again. I'm gonna play it every week until we stop getting Kentucky players. So let's just watch this. Let's just watch this again, like we do every week.
Think we're going.
Do we assume that they're all going to follow him to Arkansas also?
No, I think some of them will, but I think some of them might not. I mean, I think, you know, you got to want to live in Arkansas.
All right, so you got to want to live in Arkansas, Will. Arkansas got another former Kentucky player in Adu Thero. Now, for a guy that has a speech impediment, these names are not going to be good for me with Jonas Adu and then Adu Thero. I mean, it's just yeah. So, anyways, he's transferred from Kentucky. He's 6'8". He plays the wing position, maybe a 3 or 4. He's originally from Leetsdale, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Indiana, Pitt, and a possible return to Kentucky were on the table. So I think a week and a half ago was it Instagram. He put a picture out saying his location was Fayetteville. So
Mhm.
he started 19 games, averaged 7.2 points and 5 rebounds, and he's the seventh commitment to the Coach Cal Razorbacks. So just what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, he's slowly building what looks like to be a pretty good team. I mean, essentially, it looks like what Kentucky would have looked like, but never, I mean, they're good players. It's probably some of the best players we've ever had probably come through Arkansas all at one time. Speaking of not wanting to live in Arkansas, let's not forget that we also stole one of their former players who's now one of their coaches.
Yep. Yes,
Uh,
Tyler Eulis would be the name.
uh, maybe living in Arkansas is not so bad.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not too expensive to live here. So
But we're
and
also, I do want to say, aren't we hosting somebody this weekend also?
yeah, we're hosting Mr. Wagner, DJ Wagner, who a lot of Kentucky fans
Mm,
thought would not follow Calipari to Arkansas, but I think he does have a crystal ball from 247 Sports to Arkansas. Now those crystal balls, sometimes they're wrong, but most of the time
mhm.
they are correct. So I know he's visiting this weekend. They'll probably take him out to the baseball game one of the baseball games this weekend. So that'll be another former Kentucky Wildcat who wants to live in Arkansas for at least 9 months. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I go. There's a guy on TikTok. It goes by the name of JC. It's not JC Hoops that we are used to on Twitter, but it's a guy JC. He's a Kentucky fan, and he goes live every night during the playoffs, NBA playoffs, and he just talks Kentucky. And I just like to get on there. I mean, we go back and forth, but it's nothing. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, I told him, he's understanding what Coach Cal is trying to build, and he thought for sure Wagner would. He thought he would go to USC to Eric Musselman, but I think he's going to end up at Arkansas with Coach Cal. You know, I think you're starting to see maybe some what NIL can do regarding building a basketball team because most of our transfers have come from the SEC with
Mhm.
Adu from Tennessee and then all the Kentucky players. So and we know how bad Arkansas was last year. And another thing about last year, you notice none of our former players are following Coach Musselman to USC.
No.
You know,
No. No.
I thought that was a kind of a shocking detail about how the locker room just did not gel last year. So
But I mean,
that they don't want to be a part of it.
but who wants to play for USC basketball?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, unlike Kentucky fans with us, I mean, I'm rooting for Coach Muss. I mean, I don't have any
Mhm.
bad blood with Coach Muss. You know, he brought us back to, you know,
Relevancy.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, there was an interview. I think it was on the Hog Pod with Bo Mattingly. He sat down with Hunter Yurchek, and Hunter said when he hired Eric that Eric told him his ultimate goal was to get back out west. So, I mean, it was understanding that at some point he was going to go back out west. So, I just
Yeah, I
kind of
mean
think. I mean,
this. I was going to
go
say. I
ahead.
mean, he was here the longest anywhere that he's ever been. I mean, you can't blame the guy for
Mm-hmm.
that.
And what's hurt and not hurting, but you see a lot of these former, like you said last week, these former Arkansas players who are like, well,
Hmm.
I haven't been invited to Arkansas in 5 years, so
Yeah.
I I think Musselman had his own style, and that's it. It got us to a couple Elite Eights and Sweet 16s, and we enjoyed it. But I think it's going to be a little bit different under Coach Calipari. Who we hope can make it to the second weekend in March.
I think he can. I mean, this seems like a different Calipari than what was at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an interview. I haven't watched it yet because I just saw it on Twitter. But Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports sat down with Calipari, so I will be watching that at some point this weekend. Apparently,
Is that
he kind of talked about how it ended.
is that the interview where he said, he may only end up with eight or nine players, and that's kind of where he might want to be at?
Yeah, it might be. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen any quotes from it or anything about it. I just saw it pop up and gonna watch. And also, you can call it a documentary. I think it's like 30-35 minutes.
Mm.
I think YouTuber is Trice something. I can't remember top of my head, but just look up Calipari documentary, and he kind of talks to all the local Arkansas media, Trey Biddy and Kevin McPherson, and kind of builds the story of how it happened.
It was something in the Chicken Man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So again, if you're interested, just check that. I think it's free. I don't think you have to pay for it.
No, it's free.
So if you're
Oh, here it is.
should be
It's called
something to watch.
Calipari and the Chicken Man: How Billionaires Shocked the Basketball World.
Yeah. So check that out if you need just some more insight. He's Cal. He's kind of tight-lipped on things, so it's nice to catch
Hmm.
things when you can. and from some insiders who were, a lot of people knew about this. They were just like too scared to put it out because I mean,
I
it's
mean, it's
it's
just it seemed
Kentucky's coach coming to
crazy.
Arkansas.
It
Yeah,
seemed crazy. I mean,
it's
what it's almost like the people that knew that Petrino was coming, they just thought it was so far fetched that it wasn't true.
yeah. I still remember when Petrino that news broke, and you and Ashton was like, it's like no way. I was like,
Hmm.
guys from CBS are tweeting it out. It's not just your local Arkansas media heads,
Hmm.
talking heads. It's the national media. But again, now this same time last year we talked about Coach Muss's transfer class being so good, and we saw what happened. So, um, you know, Arkansas fans are kind of burned on the high hopes of we got all these big name transfers, but I think I I think it's going to go better than last year. I mean, I think it's a better team than last year for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, the last season, to me, recruiting class wise, felt like it was built around a player that ended up not coming to Arkansas.
Yep.
That's just what I feel like. I don't can't put my thumb on exactly who the player is, but it just feels like it's just because something didn't happen,
Yeah.
and that's why this it seems so discombobulated with people in different roles. But
Yeah.
you know also hearing about the locker room just not being a team.
Yeah. And so DJ Wagner will visit this weekend, so maybe we'll have some Monday news. It seems to be the pattern in this transfer cycle. And Case and Pryor, uh, he might come to Arkansas. I think he said what Villanova, Louisville, and
Hmm.
us. I think are his final three. So he will be a good get too. I think he's 6'8", 6'8" forward out of or maybe 6'10". I don't know. He's a he's a tall guy. I will say we'll have a lot bigger team this year than last year. But
Oh, it's probably
uh,
the biggest team we've had in a very long time.
yeah. So there's a quote from Petrino. I know it's football, but Petrino said he would rather have a really good tall guy than a really good short guy.
Mm.
So I mean, it's kind of thing with basketball. You obviously want tall guys, but last year we talked about the lack of size with our team. I don't think you're going to have that problem this year. So
Yeah, I mean, the past few seasons when we get quote unquote a big guy, they're usually tall, but they're built like a beanpole.
yeah. And speaking of
Brazil, Vanover. I mean,
Brazil,
they're all.
yeah, that's why Big Z. We're like, is he going to be a Vanover? But looking at his
Hmm.
highlights, I mean, they look similar, but
Yeah.
Vanover had cement in his shoes and just couldn't get up and down the court. And speaking of Brazil, he got invited to the combine, so that extends the streak. I think it's either 4 or 5 years in a row that a Razorback player has been invited to the NBA draft combine. So good luck to him. We've talked bad about him, but if the NBA scouts think he's one of the top players to invite him, then good luck to him, and hopefully he gets drafted and all is well for him. So, anyways,
And
Jason brought up earlier Tyler Eulis. So, but anyways, go ahead.
I was going to say, and Devo Davis committing to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which he was. I know it's been a while. I think that was his original
And
school.
yeah,
Before
yeah, it's the
Muss.
original school.
Yeah, before Muss got hired, that was his
Hmm.
original school. All right. Well, Ashton's chiming in that that Brazil's going to make the E League. All right. I mean, but he could
I
make the
mean,
G League, and the G could stand for something else. So if we want to go that route. So, so Tyler Eulis, he is a former point guard. I actually remember him playing. He's a tough point guard. There's a clip I think they were playing Louisville, and I don't know if it was the tournament or somewhere where he just has a bloody eye, and he's a guy that you want coaching your point guards. He's gonna coach them right. I know he's a young coach. He'll probably be in charge of some of the little stuff. Maybe over recruiting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he will be out there coaching. So you got Tyler Eulis, you got Chen Coleman, Chuck Martin, and uh, and then we assume Ronnie Brewer. I mean, he's still on the website. And then Kenny Payne is out there too. So that's a heck of a coaching staff compared to last year. We got a lot more experience on that bench
Yeah.
than it was last year.
They had a little bit
So
of nepotism last few years with
yeah,
Mini Muss.
yeah, yeah. Ashton's chiming in on his little. Guess he got a little break here, but he said Eulis was a gamer, and he was. I think that's why Coach Cal offered him a job. He was with him at Kentucky, but so he
Mm-hmm.
just followed him here. But uh, he's he's a stud, as we call it in the business. So anyway, that completes the. I think there's maybe one more coaching spot open. Maybe there's that rumor of Joe Johnson maybe joining, but who knows? I guess we won't know till Monday afternoon at 5:30. That seems to be 5:30 seems to be when all the Razorback basketball news breaks. Um, Again, so for this week only, we got another Kentucky player, so we are good on all that. And Ashton says Cal has already built a team more different than he has in years, and I would agree with that because he
Mm-hmm.
we know him as building through freshmen and then adding maybe two or three portal players. It's the exact opposite this year. He's got three freshmen as of now, and the rest will be from the transfer portal for a guy that
Oh,
does not know how to use the portal.
I mean, it's because he never had money to use in the portal.
Yeah, yep. So, I mean, he's building a team, but again, I mean, we can win 25 games, but it all comes down to that first weekend in the tournament. That seems to be
Mm-hmm.
the issue for him, and he's not afraid to admit that. He knows he struggles in a tournament, but he says in the tournament you're either lucky or unlucky, and he says this past year they got unlucky, where that guy from Oakland just got hot from three, and and they lost. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, Kentucky might have went on a run if they had won that game, but I don't think no one was beating UConn this year, but they
No.
could have made Kentucky fans happy. Before we close basketball out, I'm going to show a little clip from John. He's a comedian. I'm sure y'all have heard him before. John Christ. He was in Lexington, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. So
One extra seat, one open seat. That's crazy. I invited Coach Cal. He must not be here anymore, but he was. He's not here. He left. He was going to be right there, and he's like, "I'm out of here." Yes, somebody paid him more money. No, come on.
So, anyways, just poke a little fun. It wasn't that someone paid him more money. Someone just gave him more NIL money, which is what any coach wants at this day and age in athletics.
No, actually, I mean, our facilities apparently are better than Kentucky's. That's what a lot of these new
Yeah.
players are saying.
Yeah, Ashton says, "How about the old dogs getting portal players with Cal Patino and etc." Yeah, there's a lot of old college basketball coaches
Hmm.
who you wouldn't think would know how to operate the portal or even know how to turn on a computer, but they are, they are they're working it. I mean,
Well, I
they're
mean,
they're
I,
working that portal.
I mean, Muss, yes, he knew how to do it way before anybody else. I mean, that's what his bread and butter was. But once NIL got introduced, I wonder if that affected the players that he could get from the portal.
Yeah,
Not just NIL, I mean, not just because of money, but just the whole landscape of college sports changing right then
yeah.
and there.
And who knows? In 2 or 3 years, it's probably going to change again. with all
Yeah,
the rules and
yeah. What they're talking about
maybe
revenue sharing or something with
yeah
players.
revenue sharing and maybe it's tied to scholarships where if you transfer you don't get on scholarship for a year. I mean, there's NCAA's got um, a lot of thinking to do, but I'm not a fan of the NCAA as Coach Brown JB on if you ever watch Last Chance U, he calls them the non-caring a-holes of America. So it's just a bunch of guys in a boardroom who don't really know anything. So I'm sure it'll change and it will not be for the better. I can tell you that. All right, moving on to let's see. Let's uh, say we talked about the targets. Okay, we got Wagner and Kaysen coming on visits. I don't know if Kaysen's going to visit, but I know Wagner's visiting. So again, look out for Monday for some type of news. Let's go to baseball, and we lost the series last weekend against Kentucky. We won the Friday game, but then lost pretty bad Saturday and Sunday was the scores closer than what it really was. Um, I'm worried about their hitting, and I know Ashton is too. I mean, our pitching's okay. It's not outside of Smith. It's to me, it's kind of questionable. But with with the regionals coming up, I'm worried that we're not gonna be able to hit the ball and score runs when we need them at all. So so I don't know.
I mean, that is a frightful thing. It's going to turn up at the worst possible time. Never fails.
Yep. So there was some talk about Gage Wood, maybe getting one of those starting spots, but here's Dave Van Horn. This was I think this afternoon during his press conference talking about the rotation.
What's the rotation plan for this weekend?
After yesterday's workout, we're going to stick with the same rotation
And why did you decide to do that?
because they both feel good, healthy. No one has a sore arm, no complaints, ready to go.
And Molina's had he was, I guess, the guy we wondered about. Maybe he's had his last two starts has been his shortest. What are you seeing from him? How do you expect him to bounce back?
Yeah, hopefully he does, has a better outing than he has the last couple. But I don't know. He's got to go out and pitch. I mean, he's an older guy. He's got a lot of weekend experience at this level, and hopefully he'll go out.
So he's what Van Horn did was he locked the gate to the facility and didn't allow anybody in for like 2 days. Give all his players a mental break as well as a
Mm-hmm.
physical break. With they're still college students, so uh, they still have finals to take. I mean, they still have all that everyone remembers in college that they have to do. So I think he was just gave them a break. The only people allowed in were like people that were on the pitching rehab or just a pitching schedule to keep their arm kind of loose. And there's no more midweek games, so from here on out it's just weekend games. So I think
Yeah.
he just gave them a little break. Sometimes as athletes they need that. Baseball is a long season, and it's about to ramp up. You got two more series left in the SEC, and then the SEC tournament, and then hopefully you're hosting a regional here soon. So
Yeah.
we got.
That now's a good time to kind of rest players that need it.
Mhm. Yeah, and there is an injury out there. That was in the press conference, but he said that Kendall Diggs said his shoulder was bothering him again after he hit the wall in Game 3 against Kentucky. He said Van Horn said he wants Kendall to be up front with him and be pain free, or he doesn't want him to play. So he said during practice today they're going to swing and see if he's ready to play or not. So we've been kind of injury free all year, so that's one to watch out. Now Diggs he has been struggling a little bit, but he has had some clutch hits
Mhm.
in the past couple series. But yeah, so they start their series tomorrow at home. It's the last home series of the schedule for SEC play, which is very important because D1 baseball has Arkansas as a national number 5 seed, and they will be matched up with the national number 12 seed. If you know how the regional, super regional brackets work. Well, that national number 12 seed is the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So, just going by projections, this is a huge series because you may see them again in the supers to get you to Omaha. So, now Mississippi State's hot right now. At the beginning of the season, we've talked about them. We talked about how both Mississippi schools were struggling, and now Mississippi State's kind of get hot at the right time. So, but they do struggle. They do struggle on the road, kind of like Arkansas. We're not very good on the road, honestly. Well, honestly, we can't hit anywhere, but on the road, we really can't hit the ball. So again, I think game time's first pitch at 5:30.
6:30
6:30.
tomorrow.
All right, it's gonna be a late one. Not as late as that
SEC
softball
Network
tournament.
Plus.
Yes, it's on streaming only. You can't just sit down if you're old school. Sit down and turn on the dish and go to 404 for SEC Network. You have to stream it. If you've been keeping up with softball, there was a marathon of games last night. I don't even know if they even played that last game between South Carolina and someone else. I can't remember. But I haven't checked because I've been at school. But did the softball team win today by chance? Do you know?
The Razorback one.
Yeah, because they're supposed to play today.
Oh, let's pull it on up and see.
Yeah, we've been.
Says the Arkansas Mizzou start time at SEC tournament delayed due to weather.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's that weather. They need some more paper mills in their town so they can create a different ozone layer so that it never storms.
35 minutes after Tennessee and LSU.
Okay.
Which starts at 5:02.
Yeah, gives me something to watch tonight. Now I'm a big NBA playoff guy. I will sit and watch NBA playoffs all day long. I won't watch a lick of NBA in the regular season. But you give me that playoff because the intensity cranks up. If you watch, you've seen it. So it's good basketball. But I'll check out the softball team tonight. Hopefully the weather holds off for them. All right. We don't like to say our age on here, but I will say I am 32, and there's a player, a former major league player, that transferred to the Hogs. He's 28 years old. Okay, he went straight to the MLB out of high school, so he has some eligibility left, and he wants to use it playing football. Okay, it's Monte Harrison. Ashton collects baseball cards, and he says he actually has some baseball cards of Monte Harrison, and now he's on the football team, and I think he will be 29 when the season starts. So, what's your thoughts on maybe an older guy being in that locker room?
Well, maybe it will actually help the locker room, bringing in some sort of seniority.
That's major seniority.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's good for that locker room. I don't know. We don't really hear much out of the football locker room like we do basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. Now he's a preferred walk-on, so he's not taking up any of those scholarships. So I guess that's good. But you remember what happened with the walk-ons last year, don't you? And in the locker room, the Polar Express.
Oh yeah.
So maybe with him being in that locker room, they won't be watching no Polar Express. I don't know, but I think it's good to have just an old guy in there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the connection is. I don't know how. I don't know if any of the coaches knew. I don't know. I know he's from Missouri, so it's kind of close. So maybe he just knows about the University of Arkansas and knows that
He
they could probably use
well
a
he was
receiver.
well he's originally committed to Nebraska
Hmm.
back in 2014.
Yeah, yeah. When I started, no, I was well. I'm what they call a 5th-year senior, even though I didn't play any sports in college. So it took me 5 years to get a 4-year degree. But so that was my technically my junior year of college. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I was 4 years out of college at that point.
Yeah, now he's 10 years later he's gone back
I
to
will
school.
say
But
that that did put Arkansas in the headlines.
it did a lot of Barstool Sports they ran with it. It's all in good fun. I mean I ain't
Hmm.
gonna get upset about it. And he
No,
may only be a special teams guy. We don't know. You know he but it's just have some veteran leadership. And if you go watch his highlights, he has I think when he was in the minor leagues, he like climbed the wall and just snagged a home run. I mean, it's so he's athletic. I mean,
I mean
so
it was a former 4-star
yeah,
recruit.
just just get him run a 7-yard slant route across the middle and catch a ball. That's all it is. Pitch and catch. All right. Well, there's this time of year is not much going on. So I know in our description is a very, very short show. So, but we extended it to 35 minutes. So I think that's pretty good here. Uh, so it's not much. Baseball's got 2 more series, and then the dreaded SEC tournament. I don't. Van Horn doesn't care about the SEC tournament.
No, I mean, which is probably why he's resting players right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they're in a good spot either way.
yeah. I think they would, in order to not be a top 8 seed, they would have to go 0-6 these next 2 weeks, and I don't see that happening.
No, no, I
Now,
don't
I
see it
mean,
happening.
you got a pretty good matchup next week against Texas
A&M.
A&M, and Van Horn did say that will be nationally televised. So those of
Oh
you who
yeah,
have not
yeah.
cut the cord
It's
yet,
all
you can
ESPN
watch it.
two and SEC Network for the last 2 games.
So you'll be able to check out the Hogs. So they haven't been on TV much this year, which I mean it's hard with college baseball and college softball going on at the same
Hmm.
time, and you have to be equal with them. So again, check out the girls tonight at some point when they in the SEC softball tournament. So any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, I mean it's been another slow week, but it's
Yeah,
been a good week for most sports at least.
yeah. Hopefully, some people are joining the Edge now. I don't. I mean, they're not going to put out the numbers, but I hope the users have increased. The subscribers, I guess. I don't know what you
Hmm.
would call them, but hopefully those have increased. I know Ashton wants to shout out the Crossed Eagle baseball team. They had a walk-off win in the first game of the 4A state tournament, winning 6-5 against Southside. So Blake Burford got the winning hit single. I think he singled to left and scored the guy from third. So shout out to them. That's our former athletes. So they're out there doing the thing. And then down here in Monticello, we had our soccer team, our softball team, and our baseball team all leave today to go participate in the 4A state tournaments. So good luck to all of them. I know they're very excited about missing school, and we're very excited because with 32 teachers out tomorrow, we don't have school. So we got an unexpected 3-day weekend. So we are teachers in Monticello. That was a great way to end Teacher Appreciation Week. It's to say, hey, we're gonna take Friday off because it's gonna be mass chaos with 30 some odd teachers out and principals out and security
So yeah,
out and
I don't think y'all have enough substitute teachers for that.
No, in fact, if you're listening out there and you want a job that pays about $100 a day, and you have a clear background, and please apply at your local school to be a sub. They would greatly appreciate it. It's easy money. Just make sure the kids don't hurt each other. But all right, till next week. All right, we'll see. Hopefully, the baseball team wins this last home series, SEC series. I'm going to try since I got a few weeks off in the summer. I might try to go up there for a regional game. Not the super regional. I probably won't make that, but I'll try to get up there for a regional game. I know tickets will be hard to find, so hopefully softball can host one too.
Hawk Pen would probably be fairly easy to get.
Yeah, I'm probably. I think you're the same way, but I'm not gonna speak for you. But I'm probably in the minority of. I'm not. I like the atmosphere of the hog pen, but if I'm there to watch the game, I don't want to sit in the hog pen.
No, it's hard to see what's going on from back there. The environment's, can't beat it.
I mean, if you're there to enjoy drink and enjoy a hot dog or two,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like a tailgating atmosphere, it's the place to be.
Yeah.
But if you're there to actually watch the game, unless you're in the very front, it's kind of hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very fun to be out there. I will say that. So, all right. Well, again, if you're going out to any baseball or concerts, use promo code 4-Star Sports Media to receive $20 off your order on SeatGeek. Again, 4-Star Sports, we use SeatGeek, and we want you to use it as well. Again, promo code 4-Star Sports Media to receive $20 off your first order. Okay, Taylor Swift just went back on tour, so I'm sure he can use those, $20 off if you're going to go watch her at some point. Tickets running about $1,400 a piece right now.
Right. Nope, not worth it.
Yeah, we did not pay that much. I will say that. But anyways, like, subscribe, do all that with 4-Star Sports Media. I think we're 7 subscribers away from 100 subscribers, and we got some things in the works for football season. We're going to probably collaborate with other ACC podcasts. Our buddy Dave Shoemate, we'll get him on more. Just with baseball season, it's hard to do all that. So, but ACC Media Days will be coming around the corner, and then it'll be football season before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
But for Ashton for joining us, for Jason, I'm Blake, and you have been watching the Hogs Happy Hour. Until next week.